Hi, I'm Lola. This is The Sims 4, and today you are watching another base game refresh, this time the Riverside Roost. And honestly, it is quite spacious. The layout, I have to admit, I butchered it. So I do think it came out quite well as far as the overall house look and feel and all of that. It just, when I was rewatching it, I was not happy with how I did the upstairs. And the reason being is because this is technically only one bedroom and it has two bathrooms, two full bathrooms, but it also has like an ensuite nursery. So the second that child grows up to be like well, maybe not a toddler, but an actual child, this house no longer really serves you without another renovation. And I did realize this while I was building, like this is an ideal, which is why I have also that like separate room downstairs. Now I have it as an office, but if you just change the door and remove the office furniture and turn it into a bedroom, it becomes another bedroom. But the upstairs, you do have to rejigger it to make it kind of work into a two-bedroom space. But you know what? It's okay. It's still an interesting and cool build, if I say so myself. Like I said, it is actually quite a large house. And the thing that just made it awkward is that the layout, like it's just long, you know? So if I were to do the upstairs again, I think I could fit two bedrooms easily if I placed the bathroom where the kind of bedroom closet and sitting area is, which you'll have to kind of go towards the end to know exactly what I'm talking about. But this way you have one bedroom where the bed actually is, and then one larger bedroom where the nursery and the bathroom actually are. But that's neither here and there, as always. What is here and what is now? What is the opposite of that? I should probably look into it because this is not the first time I've used it for the voiceovers. Um, anyways, so as far as the look and feel of the house, I wanted it to be a little bit dated, but not too much. It's more retro than anything. Like I use those semi-modern cabinets, but in darker green for the kitchen, and I reused them again in the living room to kind of add not spacing, to add faux storage around the TV area. And see, right there where I placed that first window, that's where the bathroom should have been. And it should have been just like a little bit longer, like more of a galley bathroom. I guess more or less the same size that it actually is now upstairs. Anyway, back to the kitchen cabinets. They're dark green, so they're quite retro, and I try to kind of give that retro look throughout. I was imagining that clearly this is a sim family that is expecting. The nursery is a little bit messy. It's not fully uh a little bit messy. So I used those leaning paintings as a decoration, if I remember correctly. So I was thinking as I was designing it or furnishing it, like maybe to do not half-ass it, but like essentially make it that it's not ready yet. Like they're still figuring out, where things go and all that. But ultimately, it is usable. And so that's a plus, I suppose. And what else? So even kind of like the facade, like I don't mess around with it anymore. I do change the side yard a little bit later on because originally I just wanted it to be just simple like what you're seeing right now on the screen, but I built this in, I believe, two separate sittings. So by the time I came back, I was like, no, this is a little sad. Or just not sad, just a little empty. So I wanted to add a little bit of a fence and like a tiny bit more landscaping around. But overall, the gist doesn't change. So yeah, and I also have been thinking about kind of the channel for the last few days and how I want to proceed. Because technically, I want it to be more of a let's play channel, not necessarily like a build channel. At the very least, half and half when it comes to let's plays and speed builds. But the reason I haven't done a let's play yet is I am waiting for a new desk. And technically, I could start recording the Let's Plays, but I think it will be a lot more interesting if I do a face cam with them. This way, you can actually see my reactions. Here, I'm just doing a voiceover, so what I look like doesn't necessarily matter, or my facial expressions or anything like that. You just need to watch the video and like see what's happening on the screen rather than what is happening all around. At least that's how I'm viewing it. And see, I actually really like that green. Like I do think it's a lovely color. And but anyways, so I am supposed to get my new desk today, and I will be also putting it together today, and so that's all exciting. It's a stand-up desk, and technically the one I have right now, I've been meaning to return it for a while. I bought it a few months back, but it was missing a bunch of screws, so it's technically put together by Scouts Honor at best, to be honest. But anyway, so once I get the new setup taken care of this weekend, I am actually thinking of not doing so many speed builds anymore. And I don't know what they're really called, but they're kind of more like build along with me in a way, where like it's more in real time rather than sped up, and cut out the boring bits. And I already started doing that across the street with the Brook Bungalow lot, but I messed up the audio. I did about 2 hours, 2.5 hours worth of recording yesterday, and I was about to start editing it this morning, and I realized it's just something's off. So my voice is fine, but I could not separate in CapCut, or at least I couldn't figure out how to separate my voice from the game audio. So like anytime I clicked on something and things like that, it was just much, much louder than me. And yeah, I could have gone in and edited that one by one, but that would have taken days. So I'm just going to redo it. I mean, 2.5 hours, that's fine. It's okay. It's a learning experience. And I think I'm going to go that route. So it's going to be a little bit kind of like Devin Bumpkin does it that way. Who else does it? I've seen Dr. Ashley and Luca. I think what I also need to do over the weekend is also get more familiarized with how they actually do the videos, like how they actually host them in a way. Because I also so the reason I was okay cutting my losses with that 2.5 hour recording is because it was a lot more awkward. It was my very first take. I thought I could get away with cutting things out, and I'm sure I can. It's just again, the game audio messed me up, so I need two separate audio tracks clearly. Um, and didn't really realize that going in with OBS, but it's okay. It's still a learning experience for me all around, but so far I have been having quite a lot of fun, and I am enjoying it. It's a little bit anxiety inducing still, but it's mostly because I'm new to this whole experience. Once I get the hang of it, it will be a party and a hoot all around, I believe. But so what else can I tell you? This build, what else can I tell you about this build? So I had a little bit of a struggle in terms of layout for that living room because it's so long. There's a lot of space, but like, what do you fill it in? So like this entry hallway is a little bit light. Like I don't put anything underneath those they're not woodworking, they're yard work type of painting, decoration. And I slightly regret that, but it's honestly not the end of the world. I actually don't put anything above the table, like in like no painting, no mirror in the entryway. Honestly, I probably just forgot. And that's actually exactly what happened. I'm not sure why I'm speculating. And I fudge around with the dining room rug a lot, actually. I change it at the very, very last minute. I might actually have cut that part out of the video, but I make it smaller, I change the color, it's a whole thing. But I wanted this to feel like this was a house that was once lived in. And what I mean by that is maybe one of the parents that is expecting, they grew up in this house, and either their parents, finally kicked the bucket, or they just gave them the house. You know, the parents moved out because they wanted to downsize, or whatever. And over the years, like maybe the downstairs office used to be like a master bedroom, but after their kid moved out, they kind of converted it into an office or something like that. And it's now up to the kid that's living back here again to like convert it back or something. It could be a cute storyline. But you tell me, what do you think about these storylines that I am making up for the videos? Like, are they actually useful, or should I just kind of let them go? Because I know, like, slightly irrelevant. If you download this, you're gonna do whatever you want anyways. But sometimes it is kind of nice to have an example of what this kind of house is good for, because maybe you are interested in playing in the house first rather than the family. But I don't know. How do you guys play? Because honestly, the reason, like I mentioned in one of the earlier videos, is the reason I started this channel is to actually fall in love with the game again. Because unfortunately, the biggest overall problem, like that, I would summarize with The Sims 4, is that it leaves a lot to the imagination, which I think defeats the purpose of it being a video game. So, that's why I always had a hard time kind of playing in it. Building in it, sure, there's a lot of improvements in the building experience that could be made, but I think the playing experience is a lot harder. Like, which is why I wanted to do that Let's Play, by the way, is to also kind of gain my love for playing the game, like actually playing, not just building in it. But honestly, like, have I gained some appreciation for this game since I started this channel? Yes. Yes, I do think I am a lot, mm, maybe a little bit kinder to the base game, maybe a little bit fonder of the base game. I understand it a lot better now that I've built with it so much. I've maybe done about 15 builds into the base game so far. I'm ballparking it. Definitely at least 10, that's for sure. And so it's getting easier, but anytime that, like, for example, I personally watch speed builds to fall asleep to, and whenever I do watch them, where sometimes I watch them for a base game just to get kind of inspiration and just kind of, learn about how to make better speed builds essentially for myself, right? But also just, just to watch them. And whenever I do, for the last couple of days, whenever I've been watching just regular speed builds, not like limited pack or anything like that, I I'm just amazed about all of the amazing stuff that's in the game, and I'm so excited about using it. So I've done a couple of builds in the meantime that are, no that are unrestricted, and I haven't finished any of them. That's why they're not on here. And I'm also having mixed feelings about whether or not I should even have them here. So maybe that is something that you can also give me some feedback on, which is I want this channel to be a little bit structured. It doesn't have to be super rigorous or anything like that. But I don't want to have like just throw out random speed builds, which is why I'm starting with like the base game refresh. Like I personally, it's getting even a little bit old for me. I would like to see some variety myself as like a YouTube watcher. But like I said, there's a little bit logic to the reason that so far the last 2 weeks have just been speed builds, and that's because I'm still kind of getting ready with my physical setup to do the Let's Plays. But once I do, it will be a mixture of both of them, and I don't know if I mentioned in the previous videos, but it's definitely my description in the channel, maybe even in some of the video descriptions as well, because I do have a little spiel at the bottom about like what this channel is about. And I do also talk about cast makeovers. And I have recorded some of them. I just haven't gotten around to editing them nor posting them for that matter. And I don't know if, because like honestly, they're very short videos. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with shorter content. It's just I I'm still debating, for example, um, what am I trying to say? I'm still figuring out how also the cast videos fit into this channel as well. Like, sorry if you keep hearing the background noises. Apparently, I forgot to mute my phone, and that's all right. Um, so essentially, I want to kind of play this game, definitely starting with just base game, right? So that's why I'm doing all of these refreshes, and I'm essentially creating a save file for myself right now, which is why I'm not redoing the builds. That's why I'm not bulldozing them and just creating something new. I just really truly want a refresh base game. I'm not opposed to doing like base game only speed builds or anything like that, but I just don't think yet. Maybe I'm a little bit eager to get started with the let's play, I suppose. Anyways, I have a rough idea of what's going to be happening over the next couple of weeks, and the biggest focus is going to be on getting the let's play started. So, I will be the very first season, and I'm just calling them seasons. They're gonna be essentially not exclusive to just expansion packs, but essentially packs where we can make money. So I believe I will try to make money with herbalism. I'll give it a shot. If it's just a little bit too much, then I will skip it. Like I'll do like a little playthrough for myself. Um, let's see, I believe paranormal, we can make money off of that quite easily. There were a couple of other smaller packs, like stuff packs or something like that, that had other careers that I believe or even activities that we could make money. I can't think of them off the top of my head, of course, but yeah, that's the general gist. It doesn't have to be expansion pack specific. Um, and while I'm exploring each and every pack at kind of at a time in chronological order, like I'm doing it to get refamiliarized with the older packs essentially, and to kind of have like chronological flow to the series as well. So the reason I want the base game to be kind of updated first, not as I go along, is to so that when I do show up to the community lots, they're updated. I don't necessarily need to release everything all at once per se, but like I said, I can't get started or I don't want to get started with the let's plays until I get my physical setup taken care of. And here, back to the video, I am redoing the backyard a little bit. Like I do think it's a little bit awkward because I don't close it in at where we're looking at like the backyard area, like the back side of the yard. Because it just seemed a little bit too boxy, and like maybe in the front I should have just left it open the way it is here and just have like a little bit of privacy on the side, but that's okay. It still looks good. It just looks a little awkward, and that's all. So I don't add much. I just add some lamps around the whole side yard, and it's looking pretty cute in my opinion, actually. Like I don't want to add too much clutter. I don't want to add too many items, especially outside, because first of all, the child is not here yet, right? So they're just expecting, and maybe they just moved in. So some of the furniture is theirs from like, their previous apartment. Some of the furniture is their parents that they left behind. And, because they're expecting, they haven't had the chance to really do much around the house. But in terms of the overall decoration, I think this house will fit someone who's either maybe in the science career or the tech career, maybe like a writer, a chef. It's definitely a more expensive house. I don't remember off the top of my head how many simoleons it's actually worth, but it's definitely not starter home prices. Like with the amount of furniture and space that this house is, it's a little bit more on the expensive side. And there's also a lot going on. The there's barbecue, there's a whole desk, there's a bunch of bookcases. Upstairs on the balcony, there is a telescope. Um, are there any other big skill building items? No, but there's a decent amount of kind of sciencey decorations. Not a lot, but some. Plus sim version of the GameCube is there as well. And I did enjoy also using this giant tub. I actually do enjoy them. I think they're really cool, and even in real life, to be honest. But sometimes it's just so hard to find not only space for them, but also like an actual house that it makes sense to throw that in. And honestly, since technically I believe this house is like a modified trailer home, it's might be unusual for it to be here, but maybe at some point or another they renovated it and wanted to have a big tub upstairs instead of a tub and a shower, after the kid moved out and the parents had the like a good chunk of spare change and they're like, you know what, to hell with this, we want a giant soaker tub. But it doesn't matter. It's just a video game. And yeah, so now this, look at this. It's such a cute tiny little room, but or maybe what would have been nicer is more like a Jack and Jill experience here. That also is an option. I just couldn't find a way when I was initially doing the layout to do like two bedrooms here very easily. I don't know. Maybe I was just tired. Maybe I need to um, spend a little bit more time on layouts next time around so that it feels less like I'm cutting corners, because I just don't like that feeling, that's all. Because, like, listen, some builds are just fun. Some builds are just for funsies and just for, a creative outlet. And I do think it came out very lovely. Like, it's such a cute little space. And even the bedroom itself, I was able to kind of divide it into two separate sections. The bed is on the exact opposite side to where we're looking at, and like on the way to the nursery there's a handful of dressers, and I add a couple of sitting chairs, so it's not like it's overrun with emptiness in that bedroom, but it is a little bit awkward, and that's all. I just need to be a little bit nicer to myself, I think. And I do not add much more to this nursery as well. Like, it is a little bit cluttered, but it's not that bad. Like I said, I wanted it to literally look and feel as if they're still like the parents are still figuring out what to do with it. And I also really enjoyed using the balloons and the banners. I thought that they were adorable and just perfect for that spot. And yeah, so I do also clutter up a tiny bit in that hallway upstairs as well. Like, oh my God, that's such a huge room, especially for a trailer home of all things. Like, honestly, I am quite amazed about how huge this house is. And like, this by no means is, Johnny's trailer. Like, Johnny's trailer is spacious, especially because when they especially after they redid it. But yeah, it's nothing compared to this one. Like, this should have fit a full family more easily than I did. But okay, I digress. I did a great job. I'm very happy with how it came out. I liked how kind of eclectic it looked, but just a little bit dated, but also just not too cluttered either, which I was striving to do because I I do tend to clutter a lot in the base game, honestly, because I just don't know what else to do. And I'm just trying to be mindful of that. And I think it's coming out along pretty nicely. And we're almost at the very end. So I add a tiny bit of clutter in that hallway. I add a couple of lamps to the bedside tables. I change a handful of colors here and there. I add a couple of lights, and before you know it, you will see a bunch of screenshots. So, one more time, let me know about anything that we've talked about for the last 20 almost 25 minutes, and thank you so much for hanging out. And if you're asleep by now, good night. See you next time.
Bye bye.